Way, got the sunrise happening right in front of me. Today's topic is sleep explained. Now, there's a whole different world that I'm taught over here. It's something that I haven't been introduced to before. It's like that whole story of Roger Barrister. He ran the mile in 4 minutes. Everyone thought it was impossible. Scientists thought it was impossible. He done it. Since then, everyone's just been doing it, type of thing. What we know about sleep is basically what the people around us have told us. Now, when you come here, whole different concept. Quick example, one individual over here named Bharat, he is here by 1:30 every day in the morning. He's doing his devotion 1:30 every day in the morning. I asked him, whoa, you're here every day at 1:30 in the morning. Now, you're gonna have to tell me how that's done, what's going on, how did he even get to that stage? He told me 7 years ago, he was struggling to wake up at 5. He'll wake up at 5, feel lazy, tired, just about open his eyes. Then he started pushing himself a bit more. He started getting here for free. Then he was at his village temple. He'll be waking up there at around 2. Then he was talking to my guru as well. He got a bit powered up. He went to the step of waking up at 12 every day. I asked him, how did you come to the realization that that is even possible? Waking up at 12 every day, do his prayers, then travel over to this temple, do his spiritual activities, like the day has started as a normal thing to do. There's a famous story amongst us all. It's the story of Anandji Sangaria. He was able to sleep 1 hour a day. So that story got to his head saying, okay, 1 hour a day is possible. If he could do it, and he was working all day long, if he could do it, so can I. If he could do it, so can I. And if he could do it, so can I. He kept saying that in his head, and he's got to the point where he's cutting down his sleep to 1 hour a day. There's plenty of swamis here. They're living off less than 3. Some of them pushing for the 1 hour mark. Now this talk is casual talk over here. Oh, just sleeping less. So how does this all happen? First things first, compelling reason. You need a really good reason to wake up. When we have an early shift at work, all of a sudden we wake up and day's normal. So you had a massive reason to wake up. Now your reason for waking up is your same reason for being alive. Now your reason for being alive should be so nuts that even God, even his people, everyone's just jumping in, throwing blessings at you. Yeah, keep going. It's like someone urging you on in life. Your reason for being alive should be really compelling. You shouldn't want to snooze, none of that. Your reason should be that big. Now over here, this whole thing about reason for being alive, compelling reason, it's really up there. They keep building on that reason. They practice importance of their reason for being alive. So then it keeps adding up, and then all of a sudden you're actually finding it that much easier to wake up. Okay, so now if you got a compelling reason, everything in life actually gets easier, and waking up, all that does become easier. But let me cover a bit of the theory. It goes like this. Everything in material existence has a hot state and a cold state. Hot state is where you're active. You know, when you're moving around, you're generating energy, and you're naturally heated up. Now, cold state is when you're still. Even when your mind gets still, when you feel still, everything in stillness, that's cold state. Now, sleep comes under the cold state. Everything else under hot. So when your mind is running, it doesn't let you sleep while your mind is in hot state. That's what we call it. It's alive, awake. So to get yourself into the deepest cold state possible, you need to still your mind. Yogis, they don't really struggle to still their mind. They'll be able to sit down, just close their mind, they're gone. They go straight to a higher depth. It's like, you know, when you've been working all day, you get tired, and you're able to just go to sleep because you're so tired you can't even think. That means you're going straight into still state. When you're still, your body gets colder, you're colder. So now when you want to wake up, you want to go from cold state to hot state. So literally you wake up, get moving, and get your mind in override. So there should be a lot of activity going on in your head. That's why you need that whole compelling reason. If you've got something to buzz off, all of that will make sure you wake up. Everything's in hot state now, so you're active. Now this whole thing about cold state and hot state. So when you're still, your mind is really still. It's like when you die, your body just goes cold. Now at night, your mind is still, so your body starts getting cold. Now when your body has lost all activity in hot state, it will reheat itself. And you know when you wake up in the middle of the night a bit hot, that's when you wake up out of discomfort. That's basically your body has run out of sleep, but your mind is still, so you feel like going back to sleep. You could actually get up and running if you learn to get your mind awake at that point. Now the still mind is the hardest thing to control. You know when you're at work, it starts getting a bit of monotone and you start dozing off. That's basically the mind is getting still. All of this, it comes down to mind control. If you know how to generate productivity in the mind, you won't fall asleep at the times you're not meant to fall asleep. And when you know how to cut off, if you know how to cut off, cutting off isn't really as hard as it looks. Now, for those people with insomnia, or you're wrapped up in a blanket, you're technically all in position to go to sleep, but your mind is pumping activity, you don't really get to sleep. We're taught here to have a cut-off time and a wake-up time. Make sure that is really fixed. Cut-off time means even mental activity, you're draining it out. So we will do chanting, you could do breathing exercises. Basically, reduce activity in your head. Make sure there's nothing to deal with at that time you're going for the cut-off. And when you want to wake up, make sure you got plenty to deal with. As soon as we wake up, we're taught to think about inspirational people, get some good vibes going, really center yourself, and that generates a good flow of energy. All of this, it comes down to the two concepts: your reason to want to be alive, and then your ability to go from mentally productive to mentally still. If you're able to just look at your own life, find some techniques that you want to pull and just power them two aspects up, you should be okay to get going on this topic. Now, there isn't actually there is one technique that everyone uses here. That's the Sloke 212, more the religious side of things, where God will back you in your means to move forward. So you literally just tell God, before you go to sleep, God, I won't be able to wake up, by the way. You might have to help me. Actually, you're definitely gonna, you're the only one that can help me. So you put yourself in a mentality, and somehow, some way, I see a lot of individuals here wake up without an alarm clock at crazy hours in the morning. So this conversation can continue. It comes down to you start doing something, you try it, then you struggle, then you seek advice, and you keep moving forward. You cover a lot of ground really fast on topics somewhat the world has taught us are impossible. Now you come over here, you see a different standard, and yeah, you push for it.